welcome, gardeners, to a new episode of Garden Premiere modules. So, first of all, hopefully you did quite understand our previous modules. I've seen some feedbacks of members, like Amin. Thank you, Amin. They actually enjoyed the previous module, and it was quite simple to understand, and it was actually fundamental. So we talked about senses of the humans and how you can influence them. But for this module, we're going to talk about the human brain. Ha ha ha! We're Frankenstein. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about, or I'm not going to explain the human brain in anatomy, in like medicine studies. But the human brain is actually a core aspect for marketers and psychologists to influence other people or to make interesting marketing methods that we're going to look at after certain modules. So you can think of the human brain like the core machine in your business, but we're not going just to emphasize the human brain as the human brain itself, but we're going to introduce the human brain as a way to introduce more functions of the human, and focus more in this module about the human or what I call the Humanetics side of your business or your daily life. So why I'm talking about daily life? Because as you know, this training is called abstract. It's not more very technical, so we are not going to introduce Facebook ads or processes in this module. We're going to talk more about abstract things, which were very important, especially for my career or for other several marketers and their business. So the human things of the business or in daily life is very crucial, and you need to learn this model. So yeah, focus with me on each part of this module, and do not forget to take notes. Notes are important, people. Why do you not take notes? I usually take notes. I take several notes when I'm attending a class or a course, so please take notes and try to learn, and not just here. So yeah, let's get started. So this is so I'm introducing in this first slide two diagrams. A left diagram, which is dividing the human brain into two hemispheres, and the right diagram, it's dividing the brain into functions. So let's just start with the left diagram. So what I mean by two hemispheres, this is the brain, right? This is the whole brain. The left and the brain is divided into two hemispheres. Like you cut an apple, okay? Or if you cut an orange, there's a part, the right part and left part. So the left part of the human is more about analytical thinking. It's more about numbers, language, reasoning, logic, science, and math, and not emotions. And the right side of the brain is more about emotional intelligence, imagination, expression, art awareness, intuition, creativity. I know you get frustrated why I introduced this anatomy brain, but do not worry. I love you, and I'm going to explain you why I introduced this diagram. This diagram actually is very important and will come handy for you in your future business or in your daily life or social interactions, because you will get to know how people actually behave. So you can think about two kinds of persons or two kinds of humans: analytical persons and more emotional persons. For example, my mom, your mom, moms in general are more emotional than other people, or women in general. Men are more analytical in general. Finance people. If you're talking to a finance man or woman, or if you're selling a finance product, so your audience will be analytical. If you're selling a product, for example, an iPhone, a phone, a computer, no, not just computer, design, for example, you're going to influence emotional type of people. This is very important, people, and I couldn't emphasize how important this is. So this, you can use this diagram to detect people if they're analytical or if they're emotional, and this is very important. If you can detect if this person or if your audience is more analytical, then you're going to introduce some data. For example, in your website, you're going to introduce more numbers, you're going to introduce more statistics in your website. You're also going to talk with them with reasoning, and you're going to talk with them with the logical speech and not emotional speech. And if you sell like a normal product, or if you're selling, for example, a product that we use in the kitchen, or maybe a clothes, you should focus more about the emotional side of their behavior. You're going to introduce some creativity in your ads. You're going to use imagination in your speech. You're going to introduce emotional. And I've already explained how you can use the emotional intelligence side of your business, focusing on senses in the previous module. So this is very, very, very important. You should have the skill to detect if the human you're talking to is more analytics and more analytical, or is more emotional. If he's more emotional, you're going to talk with him with a certain speech, or if your other audience is more emotional, you're going to use more emotional communication. If you're, for example, a technologist or financial, or you're selling product that relies on analyticals, or for example data scientists, science, you're going to use the analytical speech in your communication. So this is very important, people. Please note this diagram or screenshot it or whatever you want. So now after I explained this diagram, now we're going to move to the other diagram. I forgot. For example, in the previous diagram, Apple. What made Apple successful selling their iPhone? They use creativity and design in their marketing. So they targeted emotional people first, and they didn't use analytical side or numbers or something. At least before they're made into a big corporation. Steve Jobs emphasized the importance of emotional, so he was more emotional. Walid bin Talal, the owner of Kingdom Holding Company, which they buy companies and invest in stocks, he focuses on numbers. If you can look in his sorry, I'm going back to the model. If you look back into his landing page, you're going to see numbers or reasoning language, also Berkshire Hathaway. So I think you understand the importance of this. Now let's move to the other diagram. The other diagram, we have more details about the brain. So the brain can make problem solving, planning, word prediction, vision, word understanding, memory, behavior control. So as I said, this is why the human brain is very core piece in this machine of businesses, of entrepreneurship, or just in daily life in general. So now let's move about more details into the brain. Now, I explained you the difference between emotional side and the analytical side, and how you can influence this behavior of people or your audience. Now we're going to see different parts of the brain. Like you can see this in top left. The brain actually is organized to recognize sensations, initiate behaviors, and store access memories that can last a lifetime. So the brain has a memory, right? So therefore, any ad you make, or for example, any product you make, is stored in the memory of the brain because of the visual memory. This is called visual memory, and I explained this in the previous module. If you don't know what is a visual memory, please refer to our previous video, and you can see my further explanation of this visual memory and sensations. So, and this is why actually we have this notion of retargeting and positive reinforcement. We are targeting people more and more and more every day, the same people more and more every day, so these people can store these sensations and notions about our products, especially if the ads, your advertisement is good. They're going to remember this ad. There are actually people who remember ads from 1995 or 1984. Very old ads, but they can remember this because it's stored in their memory. So now, the second part is communication. I'm not going to talk about communication now. I'm going to introduce it in the further modules. Solve many personal problems humankind faces. I think you already know the importance of communication. Everything is relied on communication, actually. So, the third part is the challenges part of the brain. Actually, the brain should be challenged with physical and mental activity. Why? Because this helps the brain maintain its structure and function. I call this use it or lose it. This is my personal method. Actually, I always challenge the brain. Last week or the 2 last weeks, I didn't introduce you some modules. I know you were some people like want more modules, but because I were busy, so sorry for that. While I were busy outside of business, I was preparing the IELTS exam. Do I need the IELTS exam? No, I don't need the IELTS exam. Is my English average? Yes, my English average. But I passed the IELTS exam and prepared for it and took it as a challenge to challenge my brain, and it was a good experience, and I had a 7.0 score. Challenges are very important, either physical or mental, so please make challenges to yourself, either daily challenges or weekly challenges or monthly challenges. For example, you can make a challenge to sell 300 pieces of your product, or you can make a challenge to join the gym, or you can make a challenge to innovate and create a unknown product. Challenges are very, 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 very important, and I thrive on challenges, and successful entrepreneurs thrive on challenges. So try to make challenges as soon as possible, and I'm actually going to give you some challenges after this module. It's going to help you to acquire some soft skills and also to improve your mindset skills and business skills. So this is not just a mindset, it's actually practical. This is not some bullshit, I'm sorry for this word, but this is very important. This is why I introduced it. So the last thing in our this bizarre introduction of the brain is experiences. The brain learns from past experiences and make predictions about the future. Well, as you know, artificial intelligence, for example, as a technology, and if you are not familiar with artificial intelligence, please see articles about it. They make previous data, and they learn the model robot learn from this experience data and make predictions. So this is how the human functions, and they actually stole this idea from the human. They actually didn't stole, but they innovate this idea from the human brain. So please refer to your past experiences or your past data in your company. Do not forget to write everything in sheets or in words or documents, and you can learn from these experiences to improve your business or your interactions in general. For example, Let's say you have a brand that's called Aqua, for example. This is just an imagination example. You hired bad people, so you hired bad people, then you fire them. So we're going to note why did you fire these people and why they were bad for your company, and try to learn the causes of your hiring process. Then you can in the future you can make predictions about good hiring. So you're going to learn these people, maybe they were slacky, so we are not going to hire slacky people anymore. These people didn't know how to use CRM, for example, so we're not going to hire people that do not know how to use the CRM. So I think you got this idea. You learn from past experiences to make predictions. So yeah, this is important. Please note these 4 functions of the brain, and and try to make, as I say, challenges. And I'm going to challenge you myself. So I'm going to give you some tasks. Memory, communications, and past experiences, right? So now I'm going to talk about and explain the Humanetics function. Now I talked about the brain specifically, and this time I'm going to talk about the human in general. So you may know this, even if it's not noted as a pyramid, but actually this is the functions of the Maslow pyramid. The Maslow pyramid relies on desires, needs, and action. Desires, what I mean by desires? Desires are hoping for an outcome, right? Excuse me for a second. This is a live video. I'm going to drink some water. So this is so you can know this is live video and not recorded, a one-time shot. So let's continue. Desires. Desires are hoping for an outcome. For example, you desire to be an entrepreneur, to make a huge amount of money. For example, this is just desire. Even if I don't recommend this to be a desire for you, because we don't transform into entrepreneurs to make money, but impact in the world and try to improve our social lives and create an impact. So needs are essential for our existence, like food, sex. Oh yeah, you like this. Yeah, so it's essential for our existence, even if people deny it. Sex or food are needs are very important for our existence. Oh, so yes. Oh yeah. So people, why I'm laughing, because some people think just neglect this aspect of life and think, like, for example, food or sex are not very important, but they are stored in needs and they are very crucial for our existence and not just some optional things. So the last part is action. It is actually what drives us. And these are the 3 core aspects of the Maslow pyramid. But, however, what do you think Maslow misses in his pyramid? We talked about desires, needs, and actions, and it is a famous pyramid trade in psychology studies and marketing, and you probably have few knowledge about Maslow pyramid, but actually Maslow was wrong. Yes, Maslow was wrong. But why it was wrong, Wahib? It was wrong because he misses something very important, and it is the social connection. And you can refer this into the social networks article. You can find these articles in Google. It's called Social Networks, What Maslow Misses, November 2011. So Maslow talked about introduce food and shelter and community, safety, self-esteem in his pyramid, but he forgot the connection side in his thesis. Why the connection side is important? Because without collaboration, there is no survival. We have 7 billion people and 784 million in this world. Therefore, our reliance on each other grows as societies became more complex, interconnected, and specialized. Therefore, maybe in Maslow's time, there were not many people as 7 billion people, and the people were not very interconnected. They were not they didn't have phones, for example, or didn't have communities. But now social connection is very important, is the central aspect of everything. There is no survival without human connection. You cannot survive without human connection, because this is coming dynamic and interactive. So we should increase our ability to connect with others. Therefore, social skills are becoming very important, and you should improve actually your social skills. I'm also trying to improve my social skills. I'm having an introvert personality, and I'm not ashamed about it, because successful entrepreneurs are introverts. But I like to privacy. That's why I don't share numbers, or I don't share more about business, and I keep my life secret. However, try to improve my social skills every day, like I said, in challenges, using challenges. So please try to improve your social connections, because are very, very crucial for survival, either in business or life in general. So now, after we talked about what Maslow misses in his theory, I'm going to introduce you to some functions of the humans. So we introduced the human brain first, the Maslow pyramid, and the functions of humans. Now let's take, for example, some functions of the humans and how to apply it in your business. For example, the learning functions. We have the desire to satisfy our curiosity. Therefore, there are businesses built on the drive to learn. And these include academic programs, book publishers, training workshops, companies that promise to make us more knowledgeable or competent connect to this drive. And what I mean by this is that some businesses are built solely on the learn function of the human. For example, you can sell books. Therefore, you're going to focus about learning function. If you can sell academic programs, you're going to learn about functions. And this is very, very strong business model, because it's taking the advantage of our curiosity. And therefore, gurus, scammers, and assholes are taking advantage of our curiosity to sell us courses, even if I don't watch them. So this is a strong business model. We have the business models that rely on bonding, for example, restaurants or conferences or dating services. These companies promise to make us attractive, well-liked, or highly regarded. For example, Facebook last year introduced dating function, I think, in their platform. It didn't work well, but they relied on the bonding function of the human. Now let's move to another function. It's the acquire, and these all functions actually are introduced in the desires. Okay, so we have maybe the desire to obtain or collect physical objects, or have a status in our world. So this desire is called an acquiring desire. You can maybe collect money, like all of us want. We want to collect a huge amount of money and be wealthy. So, for instance, investment brokerages, holding companies, like I said before, Walid holding company, are taking advantage of our acquiring desire. We're going to introduce an acquiring function ourselves in Garden Premier, I think next month. It's going to be something new, and we're going to try this acquiring function instead of just learning or bonding. Defending It's actually the desire to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our property. Businesses built on the drive, for example, there are businesses that teach martial arts, insurance products. Bear in mind that insurance products make huge ton amount of money. So if you can build the insurance business, it's going to be actually very hard, but it's very, very, very rewarding in every country of the world. It's very complex business, but it's taking advantage of everything. It's taking advantage of the defend desire of humans. I don't by when I say taking advantage, I don't mean scamming, but I say they focus on this desire. So because this is a strong desire. For example, legal services like lawyers. These companies or business models promise to keep us safe, eliminate problem, or prevent bad things from happening. So therefore, you have 4 desires that you can build a business model from. We can build a learning business model, acquisition business model, bonding business model, defending business model. There are many desires. You can search for any desire that you want to focus on, and all of your business will be relied on this desire, and therefore all of your marketing will be referred to this desire. For example, if you are taking the learning desire, so your ads are going to be about learning. So for example, you're going to introduce some free workshops, maybe some free webinars or ebook. Bonding, you can make freemium business model. Acquisition, you can talk about the analytics in your marketing or advertisement, like I stated before. Defending, answer products, you can make people scared for their future. You can take advantage of many desires of the human and build a business about this desire. Now let's talk about the human actions. The human actions have several causes that are correlated. For example, chance. You made an action because of chance. For example, you bought a piece of pizza because you find $20 on the street. You're lucky bastard. And I'm just kidding. Excuse my bad words actually, but I love use bad words in good learning manner. Nature, habit, reason, passion. For example, why are you building your next business venture? Because you have this passion cause that makes you take this action of building a business. So this is just the reasoning of human actions, and this is called I call this the human heptagon. So yes, you can know this causes of human actions, and you can know this if you want. It's not very important. The very important thing is what I stated before, and our desires. So yeah, this is it. This is the end of our second module, which is Humanetics. We talked about how you can influence people using their emotions or their analytical side of behavior. We talked about the human desires. We talked about the importance of human and social connections, and how several scientists and renowned scientists modified the Maslow pyramid, which few people talk about. And finally, we talked about the causes of human actions. So this is it. This is just an overview about the human behavior, or humans in general, how they think, how they behave, and how you can take advantage of these core principles in psychology or human behavior or marketing in general, so you can apply them in your business, and hopefully you will have good results. Lastly, I'm going to give you a task, I think, or a quiz. I don't know. After your feedback, I will see if I can give you a task or a quiz or some sort of a challenge, because it's very important. And we're going to start the next module, I think, next few days. or maybe the day after this recorded video, and it's going to be about critical thinking, as it is a necessary skill for a great outcome. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.